Welcome to Adding Dollars. In this video, I'll be going over my weekly update on the highest volatility stocks, so stocks that are paying the highest premiums for covered calls and cash secured puts. Before jumping into this week's scan, if you're new to cash secured puts and covered calls, make sure to check on the videos in the description. Now let's go ahead and jump into this week's high volatility scan. As always, I'm in the Thinkorswim platform and I'm on the scan tab. And I'm going to be scanning the S&P 500. If you're interested in seeing me scan a different list, feel free to leave that down below in the comments. So here I have a list of all of the S&P 500 stocks sorted by highest implied volatility at the top and then descending from there. And this is after hours data, so some of this may look different when this video comes out. Looks like we have Paramount and Super Microcomputer at the top of the list. We have looked at these two recently, so I'm going to go ahead and look at the third one here, Moderna Inc., currently trading at about $164 with an implied volatility of about 60%. So let's go ahead and jump over to the trade tab and see what kind of premiums this is currently paying out. I'm going to be looking at the 7 days out options, so options expiring the following Friday. As always, I have this custom column on my platform called Percent Premium that quickly calculates the percentage profit for selling a cash secured put at different strike prices, and it also gives you an estimate of the percentage profit for a covered call as well. If you're interested in adding this to your own platform, check out the link in the description where I have free instructions on how you can add this to your own platform. Now let's go ahead and start by looking at cash secured puts. It looks like you could sell the 152.5 cash secured put and make about 1.2% in about 7 days. So this means for each cash secured put that you sell, you would collect about $175 or about $180 per contract. The risk here is if you did end up getting assigned, you would need $15,250 in order to purchase 100 shares of the stock. On the covered call side, it looks like you could buy 100 shares right now for about $16,401, and then you could go ahead and sell the $165 call options and collect about $550 or about 3.41% in 7 days. Let's jump back to the scan tab and look at a couple more. Let's go ahead and look at Lululemon. Looks like it has earnings coming up on June 5th, so relatively soon. Currently trading at about $299 with an implied volatility of about 52%. Let's go ahead and jump back to the trade tab and see what kind of premiums it's currently paying. And again, looking at the 7 days out options, let's go ahead and start with cash secured puts. So it looks like you could make about 1.08% selling the $295 cash secured put, which means for each cash secured put that you sell, you would collect about $305, maybe up to $315. The risk here is if you did end up getting assigned, you would need $29,500 in order to purchase 100 shares of the stock. On the covered call side, it looks like you could buy 100 shares right now for about $29,973, and then you could go ahead and sell the $300 call options and collect about $515 or about 1.77% in 7 days. Jumping back to the scan tab, feel free to pause the video and take a look at the full list of S&P 500 stocks sorted by highest implied volatility at the top and then descending from there. I am going to go ahead and look at one more stock. I'm not sure where it is on this list, but it's one that I've seen in the news recently. And let's go ahead and look at that one. So that's going to be Chipotle stock, ticker symbol CMG. And again, we'll start by looking at the 7 days out options and start with cash secured puts. Keep in mind that this is a much more expensive stock, currently trading at about $3,138, so definitely a higher risk if you do end up getting assigned on a cash secured put, which we'll see now. It looks like you could sell the $3,130 cash secured put and make about 0.92%, which means you would collect somewhere in between $2,540 and $3,200 for selling this cash secured put. But the risk here is if you did end up getting assigned, you would need $313,000 in order to purchase 100 shares because it is such an expensive stock. On the covered call side, it would currently cost you $313,828 in order to purchase 100 shares. But once you own 100 shares, you could sell a covered call against this position at the $3,140 call option strike price, which means you would collect somewhere between $3,040 and $3,560, or about 1.05%. Again, this is a very expensive stock, so for both cash secured puts and covered calls, you do need quite a bit of money in order to trade those types of options on this stock. Jumping back to the scan tab, again, feel free to pause the video and take a look at this full list of stocks. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave those down below. And if you want to help support the channel, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.